Good morning. It's 9:07. Today is Monday, March 17th, 2008, and this is Los Angeles, California. Welcome, fellow callers, Mr. Chairman, partners, members of the Executive Committee, members of the board, and guests. Welcome to the 35th CALLERLAB Convention. We are very pleased that you are with us today and for the next 2 days. Please make sure your cell phone is either off or in the silent ring mode. Before we start, I'd like to introduce the folks who make all of this happen. Not only this, but throughout the year, keep your organization running like a smooth, well-oiled machine. From the Home Office, Gail Swindle. And in the back, the man that really makes it all that stuff happen here and keeps your mail rolling and keeps us straight in the home office as well, even though he doesn't like decaf coffee. John Swindle in the back. Your Assistant Executive Director, Dana and Donna Schirmer. And the one person who really keeps me on track, keeps my head screwed on straight, and allows me to have all the fun that I do. I've had 3 careers in my life, and I have to tell you, this is the best one that I've ever had. She helps me, like I say, keep my head screwed on straight and on moving down the road every now and then. I love her dearly, my wife. It's now my pleasure and privilege to present the CALLERLAB Chairman of the Board, Tim Marriner.
Thank you. So welcome to our 35th convention. We'd like to thank Mr. Tim Crawford for help producing and putting all that together. Let's give Tim a nice hand, getting all that going. Thank you. Over the many years, Hollywood has portrayed our activity in a lot of different stereotypes. We've seen it from Bugs Bunny. We've seen it in everything in between, Giant, Son-in-Law, and a lot of different films and movies. And some of those we've still had to live up to, or through, so to speak. But it's just amazing that just like the stereotypes from the movies, you can't really appreciate the activity till you get involved and actually do it and participate. And the same thing holds true with our organization. You can be a member of CALLERLAB, but you don't really grasp the full existence of what we do until you attend a convention. And when you're here, then you really do see all the interacting and the work and everything that goes and leads into what we do up to this point. So we really are glad you're with us, and we're really fortunate to have a nice theme here with lights, camera, action. Thanks, Vernon. We appreciate that. And a lot had submitted a lot of things, but we felt being here where we're at in California, Los Angeles, that would be so appropriate. Each year we invite representatives from all the various dance national and international organizations to join us for our convention. And we're honored here that there's so many have accepted our invitation and that are with us today. We'd like to introduce them at this time, and would you please remain standing to be recognized as I call your names. Please hold your applause until everybody's been introduced as we introduce all of these organization reps. First, representing CALLERLAB. Representing Roundalab. I noticed through all the meetings between CALLERLAB and Roundalab, we really do. We interchange those terms a lot, but they're really 2-3 different organizations here. Representing Roundalab, Bruce and Christine Nelson. Let's give them a nice hand. They're chairman of their organization. Thank you. I said thank you, but you all clapped, so you took the cue. They're taking my cue, aren't they? Okay. Cut. Can we rewind, edit that? We'll take 2 on this then. Let's go. All right. Now, Representing also from Round-A-Lab, Al and Linda Shaw, the Executive Administrator. Representing CONTRA-Lab, Roy and Betsy Gata. Also representing the National Executive Committee, Gene and Connie Triplett, the 47th National Square Dance Convention in Charlotte. Also with us from the NEC, Harry and Pat Nelson. They're the NEC President and the 52nd National Square Dance Convention, Oklahoma City. Also Wayne and Janice Bowman, the 56th in Charlotte. Representing USDA, the United Square Dancers of America, Lyle and Jean Beck, past presidents. Representing the 57th National Square Dance Convention in Wichita, David and Sherry Hubbard, General Chairman. Representing the 58th National Square Dance Convention in Long Beach, California, Ray and Sandy Hutchinson, General Chairman. Also with us from the 58th National Square Dance Convention is Pat and Ava Hendren. This is the program chairman. Let's give them all a nice hand. Thank you very much. Each year we have several CALLERLAB members who represent other organizations. We are very pleased to have member volunteers to provide representation for these other organizations. I'd like to introduce them as well, and would you please remain standing till I can so we can recognize all of you, and hold your applause again until we've introduced everybody. All right, so the Arts, the Alliance for Round, Traditional, and Square Dance, Mike Jacobs, Arts Chairman. European Callers and Teachers Association, ECTA, Don Casper. International Association of Gay Square Dance Clubs, Andy Shore. Representing Japan Square Dance Association, Shoujo and Miyoko Nashimura. Board of Directors, Chairman of the International Committee. Masaru Wada, Counselor of Japan Square Dance Association. And it's Masaharu. Did I say that right? I apologize. And Kiko Haraga. Okay. We just know him as Doc, so okay. Board of Directors of the Metropolitan Branch of Japan Square Dance Association. Representing the Overseas Dancers Association, John and Freddie Kaltenthaler. The Square Dance Callers Club of Great Britain is being represented by Walt Burr, the president. And representing the American Square Dance Magazine, Bill and Joanne Boyd. Let's give them all a nice hand. Thank you for coming. We appreciate it. If you are attending your very first CALLERLAB convention, will you please stand? Your very first. 24. Great. Oh, no. We want you standing still. We want you standing. Just please stand. There's 24 attendees and their partners. 26. Right. That are attending. And we're going to identify yourselves and just identify when I call your name, please. Jimmy Aiken of California. Scott Bennett, Oklahoma. Walt Burr, England. Joe Dugan of Virginia. Or Dungan, excuse me. Okay. Joseph Dye of Georgia. Bob Elling, California. Sue Eggai Broad. Did I say that? I pronounced that? Sue from California. Well, we have a doctor. We could have a nurse. I don't know. Kent Forrester of Maryland. Henry Grissett Jr. of California. Koshi Harada from Japan. Ray Hutchison, California. Brian Jarvis of Maryland. Roy Woodard from California. Brent Kappeman from Washington. Sharon Kopp of Pennsylvania. Thank you. Joe Cromer of Germany. Stephanie Langhoff of California. Rick Manning, California. Robert Morse, California. Bruce Nelson, Arizona. Osamu Sasaki, Japan. William Sutman of California. Bill Venkmel of California. There's Fran Waddell. Did I pronounce that right? Waddell? Fran Waddell of New Jersey. There's Arlen White of California. Folks, I put Roy in there, Roy Woodard of California. But let's everybody, if you're near these people, shake their hands, get up and greet them and say, hey, thanks. See what we do here, all right? Congratulations. Thanks for coming, folks. That's what we do best. We certainly welcome you to our convention. We also hope that you will become a regular attendee and a part of our annual family that we see here. Come back and visit us again. All right, this is the time where we all get to stretch our legs a little bit. If you've been attending at least 5 CALLERLAB conventions, will you please stand? Here we go. All right. Please remain standing until the number exceeds the number of years of your previous attendance. Please remain standing until the number exceeds your years of previous attendance. In other words, sit down after we've given your year, okay? Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Yes, those that remain standing have attended every CALLERLAB convention since 1974. Please rise again when I identify yourself. Mr. John Jones. Mr. John Kaltenthaler. Mr. Melton Luttrell. Mr. Jim Mayo. Thank you. Oh. Great. Also, we have another new first-timer that just registered this morning. J.P. Slater from Vancouver was a first-time attendee. J.P., are you in the room? Let's give him a nice hand. Welcome. Thank you. Great. On this 35th anniversary of CALLERLAB, we're also very pleased to have 6 members with us who have served as chairman of the board. Please hold your applause until I read all the names. Jim Mayo from 75 to 77 and 2001-2002. John Jones from 1979 to 81. Ernie Kinney, 1990 to 1992. Mike Seastrom, 1992 to 1994. Mike Jacobs, 2002-2003. Tim Crawford, 2004 to 2005. Let's give them a nice hand too, please. Thank you. And finally, of the 117 callers who attended the 1974 convention 34 years ago, 7 are with us today. Would you please stand and be recognized as I call your names? Please hold your applause until I have finished reading all the names. Calvin Campbell, Marshall Flippo, John Jones, John Kaltenthaler, Melton Luttrell, Jim Mayo, Norm Wilcox. Thank you. Let's give them a nice hand as well. Appreciate their leadership. Please let us all stand for a moment in silence for those callers and partners who can no longer be with us. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce the newly elected and re-elected members of the board. Would the newly elected board members please come forward as I call your name? Patty Green of North Carolina, Robert Hurst, England, Vernon Jones, Texas, Bear Miller, Colorado. Would the board members who were re-elected to a 3-year term please come forward as well? Clark Baker, Massachusetts, Tim Crawford, Canada, Bill Harrison, Maryland, Jerry Jeston, Texas and Canada, Tom Miller, Pennsylvania, John Sobalski, California. Would you please face the audience to be sworn in? As I introduce the incumbent members of the board, I ask them to stand in place and join in the taking of the oath of office. Currently, Skip Brown of Maine, Calvin Campbell, Colorado, Deborah Carroll Jones, Texas, Betsy Gata, New Jersey, Mike Jacobs, New Jersey, Chuck Jaworski, Illinois, myself, South Carolina, John Marshall, Virginia, Jim Mayo, New Hampshire, Bob Poinier, Florida, Tom Rudebach, Ohio, Elmer Sheffield, Florida, Jerry Story, Tennessee and Texas, Norm Wilcox, Canada. This year, one board member cannot be with us, Larry Cole of Indiana. This year, there's also 3 board members retiring from the board. Larry Davenport, California, Nasser Shuker of Texas, and Dana Schirmer of Kansas. Will our administrator please administrate the oath of office? Our executive director, Jerry Reed.
Do the thing. Thank you, Tim. We please, members of the board, we please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Tim Marriner,
Accept this position of trust as a serious responsibility and pledge my services during my term on the CALLERLAB Board of Governors. I will put the welfare of my fellow members before my personal feelings. I will support the decisions of the majority and abide by the CALLERLAB Code of Ethics. All this I pledge as my support of the ideals of CALLERLAB. Congratulations, board members, and ladies and gentlemen, I present your Board of Governors for the year 2008-2009.
Okay. The CALLERLAB Appreciation Awards were first introduced and presented in Virginia Beach in 1992, and they've been presented at every convention since that time. It is presented to show CALLERLAB's appreciation for volunteer work and support of the organization of CALLERLAB. The award reads, "In grateful appreciation of your dedication and service to CALLERLAB by giving unselfishly of your time, energy, and knowledge to support the goals and ideals of CALLERLAB." This year's appreciation awards were delivered with the convention package, with the packets. Much of the work of CALLERLAB is done by our committees. Dedicated committee chairmen and vice chairmen are people who make it happen with the committee structure. Some of the recipients could not make it to the convention, and their certificates will be mailed to them. Your executive committee has approved presenting appreciation awards to outgoing committee chairmen and vice chairmen. I will ask that the award recipients to please stand and remain standing when I read your name. And if you would, please hold your applause again. Calvin Campbell, chairman of the Community and Traditional Dance. The Committee of Community and Traditional Dance. Ed Foote, chair of the Challenge Committee. Betsy Gata, vice chair of Collar Training. Chuck Jaworski, Chair of Advanced. John Kaltenthaler, Chair of Collar Training. Francis Lamoureux is Vice Chair of Overseas. Francois Lamoureux. Mike Oliveri, Vice Chair of Grant Writing. Bob Poinier, Vice Chair Fundraising. Bob Riggs, Vice Chair CCTD and Youth. Tom Rudebach, Vice Chair of RPM. Andy Shore, Chair of Fundraising. Mike Seastrom, Chair of Mainstream. The following were unable to attend. Jack Borgstam, the Vice Chair of Overseas. Yona Chalk was the Vice Chair of CCTD. Cinda Asp was Chair of Grant Writing. Ron Counts, Vice Chair of Education. Bob Jones, the Vice Chair of Collars Association Liaisons. And Dick Mazziati was Chair of the PPC. Please, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you for their time and dedication. The idea of CALLERLAB conducting collar training sessions at the National Convention was first proposed to the NEC in Anaheim in 1976. Plans were already in place for the 1977 in Atlantic City and 1978 in Oklahoma City. So the first CALLERLAB collar training seminars were held in Milwaukee in 1979. CALLERLAB has staffed these seminars since that time. Last year in Charlotte, North Carolina, was the 28th year CALLERLAB has provided collar training seminars at the National Square Dance Convention. CALLERLAB would like to recognize our members that have given their time to help with these popular and very important sessions at the 56th National Square Dance Convention in Charlotte, North Carolina. I will ask that these award recipients please remain standing when I read your name. Everybody please hold your applause. Deborah Carroll Jones, Randy Daugherty, Betsy Gatta, Paul Hensey, John Jones, Mike Jacobs, Tim Marriner, Ken Ratucci. 3 other coaches were not able to attend this convention, Jerry Junk, Frank Leshkinier, and Tony Oxendine. Let's give them a nice hand, please. Thank you for your time. CALLERLAB and the Foundation had vendor booth at the 56th National Square Dance Convention in Charlotte, North Carolina. The home office was very ably assisted by Dana and Donna Schirmer, Del Reed, John and Gail Swindle. We had requested members attending the convention to help out if they were able and to stop by if they were attending the convention. Several members did stop in at the booth to help. I will ask that these award recipients please remain standing when I read your name, and hold your applause, folks. Tim Crawford, Patty Green, Paul and Patty Hensey, Mary Hutchinson, Deborah Carroll Jones, John Jones, Ron Kapnick and Ruth Edson, Francois Lamoureux, Mike and Bonnie Hall, John Marshall, Bear Miller, Bob Poinier, Justin Russell, and Jerry Story. Let's give them a nice hand for helping out. We appreciate their help. This year, the Committee for Community and Traditional Dance, thank you, Chairman Bob Riggs and Vice Chairman Calvin Campbell hosted another beginner party dance leadership seminar immediately prior to the convention. There were over 25 people in the seminar, including 7 staff members. We plan to include this seminar as a part of our future conventions. Please talk to one of our staff members to get more information and get involved. Please plan to attend next year. The following members staffed this very successful seminar, and please stand as I call your name and hold your applause. The following volunteered: Clark Baker, Calvin and Judy Campbell, Betsy Gatta, Chuck and Becky Jaworski, Ron Nelson, Bob Riggs, and Dottie Welch. Let's give them a nice hand for all the work they did for that. This year at a convention, we have 3 motions which will be presented, discussed, and voted on during the annual business meeting on Wednesday morning. we encourage you to attend that business meeting and voice your opinion and vote. There will be other items of interest to all of the members there. Voting members received a vote card which must be brought to the meeting on Wednesday and used to cast your vote. There it is. It's pink. If you believe you should have received a vote card, see Gail, John, Jerry, or Dana. Jerry will now provide more information about the process for this issue.
Hang on. Take 3. There are 3 resolutions which will be presented, debated, and voted on at the Wednesday morning meeting. In your packet, you should have received 3 colored sheets of paper, each with a different motion, resolution. The 3 are, there's a motion to approve a revision to the dress code which applies to CALLERLAB members. Second motion is a motion that responsibility for maintenance of the CALLERLAB formations, pictograms, and formation arrangement charts be assigned to the definitions committee. The third motion is a motion that the glossary document be retired, no longer updated, removed from the CALLERLAB list of available documents, removed from our website, and not referenced except as a historical document. Please read through the motions that were in your packet. If you have questions about the motions, why they are being submitted, how we got to where we are in this submission process, please see myself and we'll talk. The following procedure will be used Wednesday morning. The executive director will read the first motion. The chairman will open the board for discussion. Speakers, both pro and con, will be given the opportunity to speak to the motion. This is your chance to express your views on each motion. There will be 2 microphones set up. One we will designate as the pro folks, and the other would be the con folks. Not that they are con people, but they are advocating the con position. The chairman will signal when the discussion is ended. The vote will be taken. You will need your vote card in order to vote. The vote will be counted and the results announced. After the convention, the motion will be submitted to the voting members. There must be a quorum of 1/3 of the returned ballots for the vote to be valid. That is the mail vote, the mail-out vote. In other words, we will send a mail ballot to every voting member. In order for that mail ballot to be valid, at least 1/3 of those mailed out ballots must be returned to the home office. A 2/3 majority of the returned ballots must vote to overturn the action at this convention, or the action at the convention is binding on the membership. So, as a recap, we send the ballot to every voting member. At least 1/3 of those must come back, or the ballot it's not a valid ballot, so it doesn't matter what the results are. So at least 1/3 of those must come back. I would encourage you, even if you vote here, vote again when you receive that ballot. A 2/3 majority of those voting is needed to overturn your actions Wednesday morning. Okay? If this is not clear, just see me again. We'll talk about that. Sometimes it's not too clear to me, especially this early in the morning. The above process will be repeated for each motion. Thank you.
Right. They clap for everything. It's good. He's mailing. It's great. Oh, applause. Thank you. Applause, applause. Very good. So, we're checking our script. Yep, we are. Cutting to commercial. Yep. Okay. Folks, we have an abundant amount of time right now, and probably what we'd like to do as quick as possible, if the committee chairman would come to the microphones and give us some information pertaining your session or seminar.
Those committees that have
the committees
ongoing work.
that have ongoing work.
Just announce your meeting.
Now, we don't need to have the information that's just written in this packet right here. What we need is if you have some ongoing work that is not and has not been presented, please come up to the microphone at this time and let us know about that. Anybody? They're coming.
Push button. Betsy Gata, Chairman of Caller Training Committee. The Caller Training Committee meeting, which is scheduled for today, we have requested a change in the schedule. So stand by for an announcement as to when 10:30 tomorrow morning. The Caller Training Committee will be meeting at 10:30 tomorrow morning in some unspecified room.
Thank you, Betsy.
And I just want to point out one thing, because I feel that people feel that the Caller Training Committee is only for accredited caller coaches. No, that is for the Caller Coach Committee. Anyone who's working with training callers is welcome at our committee. Please come.
Hi, Michelle McCarty from the Handy Capable Committee. We've had a really exciting year with the Handy Capable Committee. We've done a lot of work. We've been in process and continuing our process of looking for handy capable clubs around the world, and we've found some more, and we have more that are starting. So we're always very anxious to know of more. So if anybody knows of any, please let me know, because we're just trying to get the word out there. And it's a good networking for us, and plus for all of you out there to know, because it's such a wonderful experience for everybody. So I encourage you to go out and check out your local club. Also, this year, we put out a newsletter back in November for the very first time, trying to network with we say with square dancing, we all know we're out there, but we're trying to network. So if there's things we can help each other with, or there's festivals, and trying to get the word out there. So we put our first newsletter out back in November, and I'm hoping once I get home to get cracking on the second one. So we're really excited about that. We have a handy capable hall at the National in Wichita, and the next couple years in Long Beach, and also in Louisville, Kentucky. And this summer also there's a handy capable convention, and it's the 20th anniversary. So we've been busy. Things are looking great. There's more groups. So please, if you've got any questions, I encourage you, check out your local groups, come to the committee meeting, and check us out. Thank you.
Scott Byers, Chairman of Ways and Means Committee. We have actually nothing to report because we're brand new. I wrote this huge speech, but forget it. Thank you. All I wish to say at this point is we need you. We need you if you're exciting. We need you if you're out there. You've got new ideas. We need you. We're going to be working on money. If you like money, then come join us, because we're going to be developing ideas and thoughts and programs and maybe even some different products that will work in order to bring money into this organization and to the foundation, which in my opinion is probably the greatest thing that we've created. So please join us at 3:40 at the New York room today. That's 3:40 in the New York room today. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Seastrom from California. I'm going to be chairing the RPM committee in the absence of Mike Hogan and Jerry Junk. It says in your program here that we are going to be talking about the official logo and the slogan for square dancing. This committee has several suggestions that we'll be talking about it during the committee meeting. It also says there's a prototype of the National Square Dance website to be used as a marketing tool. Will also be shown. Unless someone else has that prototype in their computer, it will not be shown. Okay, I don't have that national. But anyway, if anybody has website experience, any information that you'd like to share with this committee, we'd love to have you come. It's 1 o'clock tomorrow. Check your schedule. It's in the St. Louis room. Thanks.
Anybody else? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and introduce Jerry Reed, our executive director, who's going to cover some administrative information and details. Applause.
Beginning late last year and up until January 31st of this year, we conducted a survey of CALLERLAB members to help determine the status and the goals of the membership. Pam Clasper. Pam, would you stand, please? Thank you. No applause. What the heck? Pam is chairman of the R&D Committee, Research and Development. She did a marvelous job of creating the survey, along with the able help of Clark Baker, wherever Clark is. Stand up, Clark. I'll go ahead, yeah. Anyway, the survey was put together. The executive committee determined that it would be a very good thing if we could determine where the membership reports that they are in their calling activities and where they project that they will be in the future. And this survey was very helpful in determining that. We mailed it out. It was a mail ballot because we wanted to get a broad range of individuals, the membership. We sorted the membership by zip code, and we went down. We picked every seventh name, and it didn't matter whether they had been calling 50 years, whether they were calling a lot, whether they're calling a little, whether they were a apprentice member, just getting started, who had never called a dance yet. It was a broad, that's the random selection that we did to get a broad input from the entire membership. That study has been completed and will be studied more by the Executive Committee and the Board of Governors. Pam and her committee will be doing some additional work with that survey, and we will publish the results. As a result of that survey, I would predict that the Executive Committee and the Board will come up with some action items that we believe that the organization can take to help membership in their goals. But again, it's the results are available. Please, if you're interested in this kind of thing, which we certainly are, please plan to attend the R&D Research and Development Committee meeting. The committees, as you know, committees meet at the convention. Following are the guidelines for conducting committee business and voting on during committee meetings. Committee chairmen have been provided a list of committee members. Committee members must be on the committee 30 days prior to the convention to vote on committee business. Committees cannot override a decision made by the committee by mail. Any votes taken by the committees at convention must be submitted to the entire committee before approval. If anything is missing or wrong with your convention package or badge, and I cannot imagine that would happen, but if it did, please see the registration desk. We use humans to do our work, and we are human, let me tell you. And that's a good thing. Anyone interested in running for the board may pick up a petition at the convention registration desk. Following are the requirements. You must be an active or voting member a minimum of 3 years. You must obtain the signatures of 25 active or voting, acting voting members. Nominees will be given a few moments on Wednesday morning to a little campaign speech. We will be voting for 8 board members this year. Petitions may be turned into the convention registration desk or mailed to the office. The deadline is July 1st, 2008. You will need to submit a biographic resume and photograph to the home office by July 1st, 2008. Exhibitors are located in Houston, Philadelphia. Please see your convention package for the map. And please do support the vendors. They're actually in the 2 different rooms, so please do visit them and please do support them. They are here for your service. All interest sessions are being taped. It's very important that you use the microphone if you wish to ask a question or to make a comment. If you do not use the mic, your comments will not be recorded. Each interest session will have a remote mic. We would like to ask a volunteer. The moderator will ask if you're in the room and if you would volunteer to handle the remote microphone. A tape order was in your convention package. Please use that. These tapes, we're still talking about tapes. We haven't used tapes for a while. They're available on CD and MP3, so see the order form and talk to Scott if you have any questions. Is Scott in the room? No. But please see Scott if you have any questions. Please turn in your convention order before you leave. That always helps Scott as well. Also, John Kay mentioned to me an important thing, which we have always thought about. I don't know if we've ever actually announced it before, but the tapes, the audio that you receive that is available from the convention is a very worthwhile and cost-effective means for caller associations to build their library of reference material and an excellent resource for you and your members of your associations when you're putting together presentations. So those audio are extremely helpful in that regard. And it also, the past history ones, allow you to listen to and learn again from folks like Jack Lazary. And any of you who have ever heard Jack speak, you know how powerful that can be. There is a committee sign-up sheet in your package. If you wish to be on a committee, just mark the committees you'd like to be on. You'll notice that some of them have asterisks. There are certain criteria for some of the committees, such as the Plus Committee, the Advanced Committee, the Program Committees. You must be calling that program, obviously. The Overseas Advisory Committee must be an overseas member. Canadian Advisory Committee, you must be a Canadian, or at least living in Canada. That place up north. Our friends to the north, Canada. If you are on the committee, if you think you're on the committee, if you don't know if you're on the committee, and you would like to be on the committee, fill out that form. And if you're already on the committee, then that's fine as well. We do review all of those. Critique sheets. You also received a critique sheet in your packet. These are extremely important. The Home Office makes 7 copies of every critique sheet. We send them to the Executive Committee. The Executive Committee reads every one. We discuss those critique sheets and the comments during the spring Executive Committee meeting. That is the committee meeting where we plan the upcoming convention. And believe me when I tell you that comments on those critique sheets have strongly influenced the convention planning of upcoming conventions. So please do provide your comments, either good, bad, or indifferent. Realize there's not a whole lot of stuff we can do about the hotel or the facility, but anything to do with the program, please do provide that information. Please turn in those critique sheets before you leave the convention. If you do not do that, you can mail them into the office. There are 2 BOG informals that have been set up during the convention. This is your opportunity to speak directly to the board. Please present your ideas for future interest sessions, your ideas of what CALLERLAB is doing and how we might do what we do better, the things that we're not doing that you believe we should be doing. This is your opportunity to voice your opinion directly to a member of the board. And again, believe me, at the Wednesday afternoon board meeting, we review the comments from those BOG informals. They also have had strong influences not only in what we do, but convention activities. Any of the comments that you have at the BOG informals are taken to the board, and we review all of those. And there have been changes made because of those BOG informals. There are a couple of schedule changes on your schedule book. Singing call figures, changing figures, Tuesday, 3:45 p.m. Tuesday, 3:45 p.m., singing call figures. It is now. I'm not quite finished with my. It is still 3:40 on Tuesday. The change is Tony Oxendine was not able to attend the convention, and Tim Marriner will replace Tony on that session with Betsy Gata. Showmanship. This is not a change of time or place, but showmanship at 10:45 a.m. Randy Doherty will be filling in for Dan Nordby. Which day? That is today. Today, 10:45. Showmanship. Betsy mentioned the caller training committee. That is changed to 10:30 tomorrow morning. We're pretty sure it's in the New York room or one of them. We will make the announcement at lunch of the room where that meeting will be. Birds of a Feather sessions. These are sessions of a gathering of like minds to discuss whatever issue might be of interest to you. We've had BOF sessions on use of computers, zesty contra, irregular music, No, not irregular. Alternative music. Believe me, you do not want to use irregular music. Hexagon squares. Many of those birds of a feather sessions have been so successful that in follow-on conventions they have become regular sessions. So if there's a subject that you're interested in and you would like to gather with other people, talk it among if you gather 2, 3, 1 person, talk to Gail, and we'll be able to give you a room to gather in. Please don't just see an empty room and walk in and use it, because there may be plans for that room. So see Gail, and we'll assign you a room. Luncheon. Let's see, bird of feather. Luncheon tomorrow. That's what I was looking for. Luncheon today will be the first of the 6 meals that are included in your convention package. This year also we are trying something different. We try something different each year, or at least try to. This year we have arranged for a photographer to be with us just prior to the evening meal tonight and tomorrow. And in your package was a photo order form, and he'd be set up. Where will he be set up? At the end of the hallway here downstairs. So downstairs, where all the meetings are down there, the photographer will be set up. And so take a look at that order form. It's a good chance to get some professional photos, publicity shots, or shots for the kids, or whatever you might wish. But please do take advantage of that as well. Breakfast is at 7:30. It'll be 7:30 to 9 on Tuesday and Wednesday. Your badge is your meal ticket. If you are submitted information to the home office about special meal or diet meal, you should have received a ticket in your packet, and that ticket should have your name on it. I believe it does. If you ordered a special meal and do not have a ticket, please see Gail. Use the special meal for the meal indicated. You must place the meal ticket in front of your position at the table. The waitstaff has been directed not to bring a special meal unless you have one of those tickets. So if you need a special meal ticket and you don't have one, see Gail. At the banquet, please do not tip up the chairs to save a place for somebody else. It gets dangerous for people walking through the aisles and for the waitstaff to come across and don't see a tipped up chair. So please do not. If you want to sit together, enter together. Okay. I'll give you back to Tim, and then I'll be back in a moment.
Yep. Let's give Jerry a nice hand again for all that information. Hey. This is where all the credits roll, usually, in things, and what's going on and what's happening. I'd like to thank my wife, Donna. Let's give Donna a nice hand for all her support and work. We appreciate it. Thank you. These conventions just don't happen. You think that, every year we just show up and there it is. But a lot of work and planning goes in. And I'd like to thank all the fellow members of our executive committee. Mr. Clark Baker, would you please rise? Tim Crawford, Betsy Gata, John Marshall, and myself. Let's give them a nice hand of applause. Thank you. Throughout the year, when we have our different sessions and meetings, we get together and bat around a lot of ideas and the planning, right down from the badges, the ribbons, and all of the different sessions, the moderators, the panelists, and those things. And so a lot of work goes involved in that. Also, I would have you look at I believe we still have a Collar Coach informal as well. So for those who have any questions about the Collar coaching and would like to attend one of those sessions, please look at that. There's folks that are going around with lots of ribbons, and if you see the ones with the little red thing, it says Board of Governors, or if it says Executive Committee, and you have questions or concerns, come up to any of those folks, introduce yourselves, and let your concerns be heard, because we do listen. We appreciate that. Jerry?
As you may or may not be aware, this year there are 2 mini labs. The mini labs are requested by overseas or Canadian caller associations, affiliated associations, approved by the executive committee, and then the wheels start rolling and the mini labs happen. Magically, apparently. The 2 mini labs have been in the planning stage for at least 3 years, and they are coming to a conclusion this year. In June, there's a mini lab in Australia. It's the middle part of Australia, middle part of June in Brisbane. Also, in July, the 13th through the 15th of July, the Canadian mini lab will be held in London, Ontario, which is just over the border from Buffalo, is it? Detroit. Okay. But that's the 13th through the 15th of July. It will be a mini lab, a very enjoyable gathering. For more information, you can go to the CALLERLAB website, and on the front page, there's a place you can link to the flyers for both of those mini labs. But also, Pam, if you would stand up again. Pam is in charge of receiving the money and registering folks for the mini lab, and also Barry has information about the Canadian mini lab. So if you have any questions, please see Pam or Barry. There are flyers on the table as well. So please think about doing that. Was that all I had to do? Okay. Hope so. All right. It is now time for the first of 4 beverage breaks included in your convention package. The next sessions will begin at 10:45. We hope you have an enjoyable, educational, and pleasant convention. Your badge is your meal. One more. Don?
Don Kasper, Mannheim, Germany, and apparently the designated representative of ECTA, the European Callers and Teachers Association. This all sounds like it's just going to be work today, but this evening there will be some entertainment too. We're scheduling an overseas callers dance in here after the banquet. It says 9 o'clock, but we'll say 9-ish because sometimes the banquet goes a little longer. It'll be a 2-hour dance, and if any of my overseas colleagues would like to participate in that, please let me know, because as my ribbon says, I'll be the MC for that. And we have a lot of people here. We'll try to get them all in if we can. Oh, I've got some. And as the official representative from ECTA, I would like to invite everybody, if you'd like to see what ECTA, the European Callers and Teachers Association, are doing in Europe, next year, 2009, will be our 50th anniversary, and we have a week-long event planned, starting with training seminars and ending with a big dance for everybody. It will be in the former East Germany, so if you've never been there, it might be a chance to go. In the Thuringian Forest, it will be in the town of Suhl. See me or any of our ECTA representatives. We can give you some more information or lead you in the right direction. Also check out our website, www.ecta.de for Germany. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Also, as a point of interest, something new we're trying this year also. Ron, I think it was, Ron Black sent in the back, sent flyers and advertising to local dancers to come and attend the overseas dance and the Zesty Contra, which follows that dance. So we may see some folks tonight who do not have badges, and that's fine. Yeah, don't kick them out. Don't let them eat anything. But But we have invited them, and we're hoping that the overseas dance will be a huge success. Scheduled for an hour, and we'll go where we go from there. Remember, your badge is your meal ticket for all convention meals. Remember. No badge, no food, no exceptions. Correct.
Right. Hey, folks, that's a wrap. Thank you for attending. We'll go ahead and have our break session then.